Hi, my name is Harry T, and welcome to Odejuma. Odejuma recognizes the magic of storytelling, from personal experiences to stories of adventure, from tales of resilience to finding joy in the simple things. This story seeks to inspire, entertain, and educate because there is power in the stories of everyday people, and these stories are worth telling. Hey y'all, what's good? And welcome to another episode of Odejuma. And I'm excited about today's guest. He is a Nigerian-American multidisciplinary artist. I have Mark Odumuyiwa with me. Hi,
Hey,
what's
how's it
good?
going? Happy to be here.
The sun came out today, so that's good. That is good. But well, thank you, Mark, for agreeing to do this. I feel like you're one of like the creative in the Twin Cities that just gets my attention with how like your work is and the kind of work that you do. But like you said, you do like your hands are like in every part. So I want to just start from like the very beginning. How did you realize that like art was like a form of expression for you?
Honestly, quite natural. There wasn't really like a deep thought behind it. I just started making stuff. I've always liked art, and I liked like music and loved like just being creative, like just growing up since I was young. So it was like whenever like it was art day in school, like okay, we're gonna do some arts and crafts, cut something. I was always like excited to do it. And then I think in college I was just I started wanting to make clothes, started making clothes, and like really didn't think much about it, and kind of just was like it was like a very fluid experience of just like, okay, I want to make this, let me make it. And it kind of like I had to like realize like one day, like, oh, I guess this is like me being an artist, kind of.
So you started from, so was it close first before
Yeah.
photography and filmmaking, or was it like, so it
Yeah, it
was
was
close
close first.
first? Okay, cool. How was that process like? Because I know that having like a clothing line is a lot
Yeah.
of work. So what was that experience
It
like
was
for
it
you?
was fun. It was a lot. It was stressful but fun. Like I really enjoyed it because like I don't know. I mean, fashion just was always my like first love with it, with everything I wanted to make, and like I kind of
Mm,
did it until felt like I needed a break, and then
mm,
I don't know. I feel like it was a nice like exploration that kind of led me to other things, and like through fashion was what how I got into photography. Just because like I was making the clothes and like I didn't have anybody to shoot it, so I was like, okay, I'm tired of like waiting for someone to shoot. Let me just borrow a camera, figure something out, and start shooting like that. And from there, I was like, okay, like I have a camera. Let me like try and like plan a shoot, or let me try something creative with it. You know?
That's pretty interesting. And your photography is self-taught, I'm
Yeah,
guessing.
self-taught and just like mentors, honestly.
Okay, cool. What has been the lesson you've learned from like that transition from like going from like making clothes to now doing photography, and also now filmmaking, which we'll probably get into. What was that transition like, and what lessons did you learn through that process?
I'd say the main thing is just like understanding that like you're always like I'm a strong believer in like you're always gonna learn something. Like no one knows everything, right? Like everything's a learning experience. So I kind of went into it just like fuck it, you just got to push through, figure it out, start from the basics, but also like having a confidence of like you can do it. Like don't overthink it. Try it. If you don't like it, try and work on it again. Like I remember one of the first couple shoots I did, like I did it with a friend of mine, Felicia, who's also a photographer, and I hated it. And he was like, okay, we're just gonna redo it. Like that's literally it. Like don't overthink it. Just get whatever you need to do to get to the final destination. Try and get it done. Honestly.
That's pretty cool. And how would you say like your background as someone who is like Nigerian and American at the same time, how does that like influence like your work?
I think honestly, all my like it's with it being just like my background and identity, it's always just like overshadowing whatever I do. Like no matter what concept
Mm,
I come up with is gonna have like references to like living in both places, like living in Nigeria, living in America, but also just like my viewpoint on concepts and things is always gonna come from that perspective of like I see it through both lenses. So I think it honestly just that's just like how I'm always gonna like every project I work on has like a little bit of both in it.
that's pretty cool. As a storyteller through the art, like you're trying to tell stories through the art. And I feel like Nigerians are like natural born
For sure.
storytellers. Like that's like who we are. Our parents would gather us around and just like start to speak
You know,
of tales of back in the day. of how they were doing things and everything. Do you find yourself like going back to those times and drawing inspirations for like stuff that you do or that you would want to do?
Yes, I definitely go back to it a lot. Like I say, like even one project I'm working on now, like I'm working on getting back into clothes, and like it's mainly just like focused on just the experiences I had like at home, and just like making clothes referencing that. And like I feel like in the moments you don't realize how beneficial those like little moments of like, oh, your dad's making a joke here, or like there's a story about this, or like just like, oh, like this is the nickname we have for this like family member. Like those little things kind of like just happen in passing, but like through a lot of the work I do now, it's like how those things come back and like bring more light to like the projects I'm working on now, and like inspire me in new ways to kind of figure things out.
Okay, that's cool. And I saw that, obviously you did like some
Mhm.
filmmaking work, and your film, well, has been screened in some, Are, is that how it's pronounced? I probably should know how to
No,
pronounce
it's
it.
all good.
I probably should know how to pronounce it, but I just gotta
Yeah, all
confirm,
right.
Tell me about the journey into filmmaking and what has that been like, and what has the response to the film been so far?
I'd say the journey has also just been a fluid one. Like when me and T-Buzz or Tawheed, who I made the film with, we're gonna make it. We literally were just like at my apartment, and we're just like, okay, like let's just make a film. Call our friend, and kind of did it sporadically. And then like once the Jojo, our friend, was like on board to shoot it with us, we're like, okay, let's start from scratch. Just start storyboarding and like writing down notes of like how we wanted to flow, how we wanted to the pacing to be, and we wanted to kind of look like, and kind of pulling references to not necessarily to mood board, but just to like lead us in the right path with the film. It was all just like, I guess that like comfortable space, just because like we're all friends. Just get the studio, start shooting, and like the first we shot it over across like 2 days. And first day it was a good day. Shot everything like a couple hours, but I think like we noticed like some little things that we are like, okay, we could do better at. And I think like us always being like let's try and improve. Like if we can, let's try it. And so like that's when we came back another day to like shoot like the rest, and like worked for a couple months of just like I think like all these projects is really just like a feeling. Once it feels done, once it feels right, is good. Throughout the whole process, we just kept searching for like a good, like, okay, it feels complete feeling. And it's been a fun journey.
That's pretty. That's pretty cool. And what has the response been like since it's been
It's been
out?
great, honestly. Like it's crazy. Like it's been a while now since it's been out, and like we were able to like premiere it with Nowness in London, and like have it be one of their like personal picks for that year, and like show it at the African Film Festival in New York, and just like many other film festivals. Like even me and T-Boz were talking about it the other day. It was just like it's crazy to see like how far it went, and also just like it's literally like recently it got played in somewhere in France that I'm like, these are places we've never been to, that they're like they love the film, and they're like, oh, we want to show it in our festival. We're like, okay, like that's cool.
And I'm just thinking like, there is a obviously I've only been living in the Twin Cities since 2021, but like it just feels like there is just every year the creative scene keeps
Mhm.
expanding with like black talent and like the creative, but it's in general it's still a very the Twin Cities is not it's kind of white, you know what I'm saying? It's like but also, we have like very talented black folks doing amazing things in the Twin Cities. So like how would you gauge or how would you view the scene, if that's the word? How would you view the scene? What's your view of the scene? I think that's a much more accurate question. And what are like areas that you feel like we could be better, in the city?
I mean, I love. I mean, just being from St. Paul and being from Minnesota, it's like is home. So like it's just natural to create and just like be there. I think the creative scene is one that's been flourishing a lot in the last couple of years. Because like I remember when I first started, it wasn't like how it was today for sure. And like I think like it's nice that now like there's a lot more black faces or just like people of color in it. And I think more of the, let's say, like larger organizations are more like connected to the actual like artists or smaller artists in the city, which is nice, which I don't think was happening as much back in the day. But I
Mm.
think, I mean, with anything, like there's always room for improvement. And I think like more like I think we have a strong community, and I think like we could definitely build upon it. obviously I understand that like it is a small community, but I think like we could always just push for better, more collaboration, more support for each other, and like helping each other as much as we can. And I think the only way we can like really reach where we want to reach as a city is if we like come together and do it and be more, which I think already happens. I think is just like continuing on that and building upon that.
Yeah, that's real. That's real. So you released Something to Say, a magazine that's spotlighting various artists from the Twin Cities. So talk to us about Something to Say and what was the inspiration behind it?
I've always been the inspiration was honestly from just like my love for like how do I put it, like eras and cities. Like I think like if you look at like back in the day, like that Warhol era or like that Studio 65 era, like or the eras in like the punk era with Vivienne Westwood in London, like it's just like a period in time where like just the city's like at a creative peak or like a subculture's at a peak. And I'm like, I felt like right now, or like even honestly like the last couple years and now, like Minneapolis has been in that era where like I feel like a lot of the artists are just making their best work. So it's like, okay, no one's really like creating something that encapsulates this. So it's like it just seemed like the right thing to do. And I always like wanted for someone to just document like, okay, this is everything going on in the city right now. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna put something together quick and make that.
And it's very interesting because you're always like making, like you feel like, oh, there's a gap. I'm gonna make something to fill that gap. Do you
Mhm.
ever like, what is that creative process like? I'm trying to like understand, how do you go from like, oh, we have an idea to do this. How do you go from idea to conceptualization to execution to
Mhm.
putting it out in the world? What is that process like for you?
I say just honestly, like I've always been like deep in like research. Like I think like for me, like if I have a question, I'm gonna find the answer like however I can. Like if I have to ask a bunch of people or like Google, watch a bunch of YouTube videos, like I'm gonna find the answer. So like literally, I'd already made like a book before, so I was like, I already had that knowledge of like, okay, I know how like produce it, but okay, now it's like I have to go through the whole process of actually making like a proper magazine that looks nice because I'm like I'm not gonna do it and it's not gonna like it has to be on on par, you know. So
Mm-hmm.
it's literally just like doing a bunch of research and like I already collected books, but I was like, okay, let me shift like into looking more into magazines as well. So like honestly, for the whole like year or so, I think that I was working on it. It was really just like researching like different magazines, like ID magazine, and just like going to like the what's it called like the corner stores in New York sometimes, and just like buying a bunch of magazines and just like looking through, seeing what they usually put in it, and like the graphic design styles, and seeing like okay, this is how like most magazines like Vogue and stuff are done, but like okay, how can I make that in my way? And so once I got that figured out, it was honestly just focused on like selecting who we should put for this like first issue, and then like working with the graphic designer Ray to like actually like bring it to life, like post that, which was honestly like a fun process. Like literally, I just have like phone calls and meetings with him, just like explaining like, okay, I want this page to look like this. Like, yes, we need to do this. We got to do this. And a couple hours later, a day later, he's sending me like everything perfect, and it's like I don't know. It was a fun project to work on, and like it was a collaborative project. Like me, T Buzz, and like Ray, just like conducting interviews, designing pages, and like it was a lot of work, but it was worth it. Like just to be able to even just like produce something like that for the artists in the city, and just like having them be able to even see their work in that light was just it was perfect.
Yeah, and it's limited copies, I'm guessing, because it's sold out right now on your website.
Yeah, it was very limited. Like we restocked and then sold out again, but I think we're gonna do a re-release like once we finish issue 2, which is on the way. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like your art seems like it's very like in demand. Like it's like, oh, you put it out, people desire it. How does that make you feel just from a personal level that, you're creating work that is resonating with people?
I love it. Like I feel like every artist are like tries to like not think about people like while creating, but like sometimes you can't like help yourself and like hope people like it.
Mm.
And I think just being able to see my work be received well, or just like people even just like investing in it, like to buy a magazine is something like they're taking their hard-earned money and being like, okay, I want to buy this and have this in my home. Or like even just like little things like seeing like people post that like this is their table, their coffee table book, like it's hung up in their house, like it just I don't know, it's an amazing feeling. I'm happy, and I'm happy that like even people who've never been to Minneapolis also just like have this book that just showcases all the artists from there and like are seeing like how amazing it is. Like even recently we got our friend who's from Paris to come to Minneapolis for the first time. He's like, "Oh, I want to see this like Minneapolis place that you guys always talk about." And he literally left there and was like, "This is like top 2 cities I've ever been to in my life." And he's like
Oh
obsessed with
wow,
it. Yeah.
that is pretty cool. Shout out to
Yeah.
Minneapolis.
Hey, we got something.
The folks been sleeping on Minneapolis, real for real.
There's something in them lakes.
Yeah, yeah, those lakes are something. I want to talk about something that is in your bio a little bit, right? On your website, it says introducing fresh perspectives on the Black gaze, masculinity, the African diaspora, family, religion, race. What does that mean to you? What perspectives are you hoping to share alongside these themes, basically? Yeah.
I think honestly it really depends. Like it switches like project to project. And like I think like just going through life, like the things that I'm finding myself gravitating to always shifts. So like I say right now I'm definitely like gravitating more towards religion in the past couple projects I've been working on. And I honestly just in giving my point of view just from my perspective of just like one growing up between like a little bit in the US, a little bit in Nigeria, and just like having these different perspectives of the Black experience and like being able to obviously like I'm not like the end all be all, this is what the Black experience is, right? But like my perspective of like this is how I saw it growing up, like as who I
Mm.
am in the US and as who I am when living in Nigeria. And like the project I'm working on now, even just like it is mainly focused on just like Yoruba people's relationship with religion and how I've seen it to be. And like obviously like I think with art I like to leave things open ended just with the understanding that like everyone's experience is different. My experience is not the same as yours or anyone else's, but like this is my story that I've found to be interesting, and this is my POV on it, kind of. And I guess people can receive it however they like to receive it, or if they like it, they like it. If they don't, they don't. But I think everyone has a story, and everyone has like a perspective, and I kind of just like try and figure out the best way to showcase mine with whatever medium that I can best do it with.
And what are you learning from like your work in like from like you currently working on this project? I'm looking at Yoruba people and their relationship with religion.
Mhm.
What are you learning about your culture, yourself as you work on this piece?
I've learned a lot. I think like, it's been interesting just diving in deeper into just like one like our traditional religious practices because I feel like that's something we usually just shy away with from just like culturally like we're very like the viewpoint of it just is just too negative. It's like even like I feel like even if my parents knew that I was like looking into these things, they'd be like, "Oh, well, this is a sin. You can't do this. Like, stop." Right? And it's
Mhm,
like
mhm.
just reading about how like because I think religion and just like spirituality in itself is just like a super beautiful thing, and I think like it's something that like is important, right? But I think like the image that is portrayed of like our traditional religions is just like so negative that it's like you don't but it's so negative to the point where it's like all you know is the negative and you don't even know anything truly about it. So like this has been a really just like eye-opening experience of just like better understanding like what it actually means to be involved in these like traditional religious practices and like better understanding like the different deities and things like that. Like it's just been it's been a fun process, but with it as well, like I've also been diving deeper into Islamic practices as well, just to because that's also a part of the practice project as well. And it's just been like a beautiful learning experience of just understanding like how much it means to people and just seeing like what that looks like for different people in their life.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Still in your artistic bag, you are also a DJ. So it's like when Mark says they're multidisciplinary, they really are, all that's left is theater and, a little bit of actual, maybe like singing or something.
Nah, I can't.
And then we know that you've got it all.
Funny.
But talk to me about you exploring DJing. Where did that come
I mean, like I said earlier, I was just like, music is I'm obsessed with music. Like, even like my siblings, everyone around me is always annoyed because I'm like constantly playing something, right? I felt like it was just like it just made sense for me to like learn. And like shout out to Quay, you know, he taught me he taught me everything. That's my sensei. And like it was nice. Like I think like just being able to learn from a friend and like that like Quay's my brother, so it's like learning from him was just made it so much easier, and just like being able to like DJ for him with Samambo was just it was kind of too perfect. I mean, I don't know. I think I would like I DJ, but I think like I'm still like exploring what I can do with it and seeing like how I can take it going forward. But it's still like a newer medium to me as well. And I understand like I have a lot of respect for like proper DJs, and like yes, I do it, but like I still got a little bit of more a little bit more practice, a little more time before I'm like a proper, you know, capital D DJ, you know?
Yeah. How are you hoping that your all these art forms and mediums that you're exploring with and you're experimenting with, how do you hope they come together eventually? Like, what do you have? Do you want to do a multi-medium pop-up or exhibition, or what is that like dream? And you can be you don't have to be in detail so nobody steals your idea. Well, give me like an example of what you're dreaming of using all of these different mediums that you're currently working with.
I would say I'm definitely working on an exhibition. I think like regardless of what I'm working on, like each medium kind of comes into play. But I think like through exhibition would be the best way to like showcase them all at once, and like be able to get like specific concepts showcased in a way that I guess like how would I word it, like that shows the full story, right? To get that fully across, I feel like through an exhibition would be the best way to do that. But I mean, I think one thing I try and do with my work is just like I try not to overthink it and just like make whatever I make, and like however I can showcase it, I'll showcase it. So honestly, not too much is in my mind on the aspect of the process of like getting everything to tie in together. Like if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But you know, as long as I'm enjoying the process and enjoying the things I'm making, and I feel like I feel good about what I'm making, I just if it happens, it happens, kind of.
Okay, okay, cool. Are there any stories you're looking to tell? Any stories or any themes that you're looking to explore in the future that is like top of mind?
Nah, nothing specific, but it's definitely always, you know, always around that, like exploring different concepts around just like the black gaze with photography and like African stories, and just like more like I think like I've just been looking backwards a lot more, and just like looking more for a better understanding of our past. Like I feel like you like it's definitely important to like look into those things, and like or even just like personal stories from my parents and things like that, and just creating work that works with that.
That's pretty cool. We have like a little like trivia section, just like a couple of fun questions, just trying to get some like recommendations from Mark. So first thing, what are the top 3 songs on your playlist right now?
Ooh, this is about to expose me. Hold on. Nah, no, I did not listen to everything. Let me see. What have I been listening to a lot right now? Okay. There's this Nigerian artist. His name's Zay Level 10.
Okay.
He just dropped a song called Maye. I've been listening to that a lot. What else? Skywater. It's I don't know. It's kind of just everywhere. There's Burna Boy, Skywater. Got some Papa from Minnesota is in there. What else? Chai Cartier, British rapper. It's like
So it's giving very authentic. Your
yeah.
music taste is giving very authentic. And for folks who don't know what authentic is it's a colloquial, it's a Nigerian colloquialism of alternative, something that is not mainstream. So there was a whole authentic movement. That should be a whole dissertation for another podcast. Yeah, I like the expansiveness of the music taste. So I'm here for it.
Mhm.
Yeah. So who are like top 3 artists you hope to collaborate with? Like dream collaborators.
I don't know. The way I'm like my working process is kind of just like very like open to the point where it's like I'm not necessarily thinking about collaboration like off rip, but I think like definitely trying to work with more like Nigerian artists, and like Nigerian artists like who are in Nigeria, and like more artists from Minneapolis. Like I feel like there's so many like I guess like it's always like trying to find the best way to work with people. I think is a difficult thing just with the work I do, because you also just don't. I don't want to work with people just for working with people's sake as well. So like if it makes sense, it
Yeah.
makes sense. But like I don't think anyone comes to mind just like straight up. But
Okay, that's real. That's real. I can get that. Sometimes, collaboration is not what folks are looking for, and that's okay too.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Is there a piece of art that has changed your life?
I feel like like I'm the type of person that gets like obsessed with things. So like
Mm,
if I hear a song and I like it, that's my favorite song for like the next 3 weeks. I'm not playing anything else. That's all I want to hear. So like it's to the point where like there's so many things that's changed my life. Like that's like it was just my personality or
mm,
like okay, this is it. This is what I'm on right now. Like this is my vibe for the next
mm,
month. I'm about to start doing dressing like this. Become
mm.
indie, but I say more
Not emo.
hey, sometimes you got to switch up the steez. But no, I think like more recently, what's something that I really liked recently? I guess like McGee's album. Like I've been listening to that a lot. Like that was my like the whole year, past year. Like that's my main thing that I've just been obsessed with.
Is there a place that you would like to go to shoot? Like, what city are you like, I have to go here and do some photography work
Yeah,
or artistic work? Or cities. It doesn't have to be one city. It could be multiple cities.
I'd say right now, just because I haven't properly like shot there, just back home, like Nigeria. I want to go there. It's like I already have like a couple like concepts in mind of things to shoot there. That I'm like, okay, once I touch down, I gotta figure out how to make this work.
Mm.
Definitely like back home, Lagos, Oshobo, like Ikiri, those areas. I want to go there and like actually just like with my camera and like see what I can make in those spots.
Okay, cool, cool, cool. And finally, what is your guilty pleasure?
Probably like sports. Like I'm obsessed with football, like soccer. Like
Mm,
that's my, Hala Madrid, just Real Madrid every day. FIFA all the time, just over obsessed, playing online,
mm.
like, screaming at my fucking TV. Yeah, that's it. That's my guilty pleasure.
Okay, cool, cool, cool. Thank you for being here. And I have one more question for you before I let you go.
Let's do it.
When people engage with your art, when they come and they maybe watch your film that you do, or see your photography, or buy your magazine, or come to a party that you're DJing at, what do you want the people to leave with when they encounter art by Mark?
I would want people to kind of just like leave like feeling something. Like I think like a lot of the work I do is very not necessarily emotional, but I think it's like an emotional process. Like certain stories I tell or certain concepts I explore, and it's like I would want you to leave feeling like maybe you learned something, or maybe like your perspective changed, or like maybe this like helped original perspective or something like that. Like just definitely just like leaving feeling something.
Thank you so much,
Yeah,
Mark. Really appreciate you and appreciate your work and
of course.
everything
Thank you
that you're
for having me.
doing. Yeah, and I will definitely put some of like your links to some of like your work for folks to check out in like the description,
Yeah.
so that they can engage more with the stuff that you're doing.
Sounds
So
great.
thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you all for listening or watching wherever you're consuming this podcast. Odejuma.